Just this morning, Webflow announced their plans to incorporate AI into Webflow. Now, if you've seen this announcement, I know some of you might be nervous or scared. Some of you might be excited. And so in this video, I want to cover this announcement. I want to show you what this is going to look like, what it's supposed to do in Webflow, how it's going to change your processes and the way that you design and develop. And there are a few other things that I want to cover that might help us prepare for this adjustment, because it is going to require a big adjustment on our parts as designers. So hopefully by the end of this video, you have a really good idea of what's coming, and then we can start to prepare. So I'm going to go through this announcement article that was just posted by Webflow, and I went through this previously and highlighted the most important parts that we need to focus on. This is going to be the quickest way for you to get a good idea of exactly what's going on. So bringing the power of AI to Webflow. I felt that it was important to remember Webflow's ultimate goal, which is to bring the ability to develop a website to everyone, not just designers, not just you and I. And so there are going to be times where we feel like, man, this is really benefiting my clients, maybe even more than me as a designer. So as I scroll down here, the first thing that they talk about is that artificial intelligence is moving quickly. I felt like Webflow wanted to address this right up front, that there's no way that they could not jump on this train of AI. If they didn't do something to incorporate AI into their tool, they just aren't going to be able to survive, because you know that everyone is doing this, right? AI is quickly becoming a very integral part of all of the tools that we use, and Webflow is no different. And so I don't fault them at all for wanting to use this. In fact, I think it's a really smart move. And I do think at the heart of this, Webflow doesn't want to fall behind, but also I think they see how much better this is going to make their tool and how much more enjoyable it's going to make the entire development process for me and you. And so overall, I think it's a smart decision. As we scroll down here, they talk about investing deeply in AI at Webflow. It seems to me that after reading this article, this is their top priority. I think that it's a very time-sensitive move that they're making. This isn't something that they can sit back on for months and certainly not years. It sounds to me like they're going to be rolling this out in the coming weeks and months. And the part that I highlighted here is AI-generated content is only as good as the development environment the content is dropped into, and the human being orchestrating the entire creative process. So I think the reason that this is so important is if you've messed around at all on ChatGPT or Midjourney or any of these AI tools, you'll know that the capabilities are pretty overwhelming, but also, like for me, my knowledge of how to use them, how to orchestrate this whole process is difficult and confusing, and it's something very new to us. We have to understand what questions to ask these tools in order to get a return that we want or that we're looking for. And so I think this is a really good point that yes, AI can do, a billion different things, but it's only as good as the development environment and the person or the designer or developer that's orchestrating these things and bringing them into a finalized visual form. And so this doesn't mean that AI is going to come right in and just automatically start taking over our jobs, but instead it's going to be a tool to give us superpowers, at least in the near future. I don't know what this looks like next year or in 3 years or 5 years, but right now I do feel like it still is very much dependent on us as the orchestrators of this entire process. Now, the first thing that they talk about doing is leveraging AI to improve the visual development learning journey. So first and foremost, this is going to help us learn Webflow and be able to bring in all of the information across the web, whether that's in forums, Webflow's blogs, Webflow University, YouTube videos. All of that information is going to be brought into the Webflow Designer to allow us to utilize that to ask questions, find shortcuts. So it says here, what if all the knowledge available to help you build in Webflow is directly accessible via prompts in the designer? So you no longer have to go to YouTube or search the forums or the blog to find answers to these questions, but instead this is going to act as like a personalized assistant. So you can see the example here. You can just type in, how do I change this? Or how do I add padding? Or how do I add this specific element? And it's going to direct you to the information that you're looking for to speed up that entire process. So this specifically I'm really excited about, because it just cuts out the learning curve and it makes it much easier for us to get in and do exactly what we want to do, especially maybe for new Webflow developers. It's going to get you there faster. Now, as we scroll down, we're going to see some other examples, how you can fix grammar, translate to Spanish, shorten length. You're going to be able to do all of these things. The bullet points here say you'll be able to quickly generate, alter, or summarize static and CMS content with simple prompts. And so this is really going to help with the whole content process, especially for those of you that are designers and working with clients, but you're sick of content delays. This is going to make it much, much quicker. It says that you can auto-generate optimized SEO settings based on the actual content of the page. I'm really excited about this because this is going to further support our goals at Semflow, our new SEO plugin for Webflow. This is going to just make sure that everything integrates and works really nicely together. It says that you'll be able to auto-generate image alt tags to improve accessibility, which I'm also excited about because this was something that we were going to build into Semflow, but now Webflow is going to have this natively. You'll be able to create unique new images in the assets panel based on a text prompt, which is going to be huge. I don't know how this is going to work right out the gate, but this could potentially save a ton of time. Generate code in the custom code editor based on a prompt. So we know that ChatGPT can create essentially perfect code. And so being able to add code snippets right there, this just elevates your capabilities in terms of development. And then finally, quickly translate content into different languages, which of course is going to be a huge time saver. Now, I highlighted in red here, styling and content changes directly on the canvas. And so that is their ultimate goal. They want you to actually be able to design and develop with AI, not just have knowledge shortcuts, not just ask it questions, but actually have AI design and develop. And so as I was in the Facebook group this morning, I did see several comments about, well, how is the CSS and classing structure going to look? And is it just going to make our website more messy? And I don't know how Webflow is going to navigate this, but I'm sure that they're on top of these things because they know how essential those are to our development process. So you'll see an example of how they want us to be able to actually develop. In the example here, it says insert a pricing card for a basic subscription with a list of 5 features and a price of $10 per month. And it's going to create that element. You can see here that they're already illustrating that the classing structure is going to be done for you. I don't know what sort of system they're using, whether they're going to use client first or something else, but this is going to be really nice. Can you imagine like not having to build from scratch all of the time that it's going to save you? So a few other things that it's going to be able to do: generate new elements, components, and sections based on a text prompt, make styling and content changes to multiple elements at once, and generate variants and extend your design based on its surrounding elements. So this could be really awesome. I'm going to go ahead and throw out an idea here, and whether it's Webflow that takes this or FinSuite that takes this, I hope that you shoot me a message and thank me for the idea. Maybe I get a little kickback. But one thing that I think would be so beneficial to utilize AI for is cleaning up classing structure. So if I get an old Webflow site, the classes are all mixed up, being able to tell AI, determine what these elements are, and then transition them into client first. Now, it would be really nice for it to take you through a process where, there are a couple elements where it doesn't know what they are. It could ask you, what is this element? You can select it with a click, and it's going to connect the proper client first CSS classes to every individual element. This would be a massive benefit. So throwing that idea out there. So the benefits of this, it's going to increase your speed and efficiency, radically shorten iteration cycles, faster time to market, and better performing sites. And the thing that I love most about this is they want to help you focus on innovation and less on repetitive tasks, which right now, that is one thing that AI is great at. It's just getting rid of the repetitive, busy work that can bog you down, burn through your creative energy, and it's just going to give you much more time to focus on creating and designing, which is really exciting. So the next thing that it talks about is AI customized templates. This is the one I think that is going to cause the most waves for designers, freelancers, agencies, because this is a constant and a good stream of income for my agency. Somebody coming to me and saying, I have a template, but I want it customized for my business. And these are quick projects. And oftentimes these are worth a few $1,000s. But now what Webflow is telling us is people are going to customize a template by saying, this is the name of my site, here's the category, here's a description, and AI is going to customize that template. So a fantastic feature, but this definitely benefits our clients more than it benefits us as designers, which is okay. I'm not complaining about that. Again, I think Webflow is making all of the right decisions here. We're just going to have to adjust and adapt. So going down here, it just talks about accelerating Webflow's mission with AI. And I love this idea that I don't feel like they're following a trend. I don't feel like they're just chasing shiny objects here. Like, I do feel like this is part of their mission. And I actually think that it goes really nicely with Webflow's mission to make coding easier and to bring the power of coding to an ordinary person. And AI is just going to bridge that gap even more and make this process easier. So if you're new to Webflow, if you are not a web designer or a developer, this is going to be huge for you. If you are an experienced designer and developer, we just need to find ways to help this take our expertise to the next level. It should speed up our processes. It should make us more of an asset to our clients. And if we adjust our position as necessary, I still think there's very much going to be a huge market and plenty of work to go around for all of us as Webflow users. Webflow says, we believe that AI is the key to unlocking the creative and development potential of millions to build and launch the most impactful sites that have ever been made on the web. It's an awesome mission. And at the end, it says that they are trying to roll this out in the coming weeks and months ahead. So what I would recommend you do, this is what I'm going to do. I am very much going to be watching for these things to roll out, and I'm going to be one of the first ones to dive in and start experimenting with it. We need to work this into our processes, and I do think there's going to be several months, if not years, where it's going to take the ordinary person a while to adopt these types of AI tools, especially when they're learning Webflow. It's going to be difficult for them to learn how to work with this AI copilot along the way. And so I do think the early months of this new integration is going to be a fantastic time for us to just play this into our messaging, as this is an additional benefit of working with me and my agency, is I'm using AI to speed up the process, make sure your website performs better, it's optimized. All of these things are going to be a benefit to us. Again, a couple years down the road, I don't know what this looks like. Maybe an ordinary person can hop onto Webflow, type in a 1-paragraph description, and their website is designed, developed, and launched. I don't know. But for right now, this is exciting stuff for you and me as Webflow designers. So stay tuned. If you want more updates like this one, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm constantly, almost every day, posting new videos about Webflow, web design, freelancing, how to succeed as a designer. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.